Ciryl Gane, who's 6'5", 247 pounds, moves like a 170-pounder. He is the best moving heavyweight I've ever seen. No question.
But I'm telling you, Ciryl Gane is not like something we've ever seen before. He is a monster.
No doubt who is leading mixed martial arts in France. Enter Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane has become one of the best heavyweights in MMA.
So dynamic, and that's what really sets him apart. You don't see that from heavyweights. He's a problem for them all.
When you talk about the UFC's heavyweight division, one name always divides opinion: Ciryl Gane. To some, he's the smoothest, most technical striker the heavyweight division has ever seen. A new school master of movement who makes giants look clumsy. To others, he's just overrated. He's soft, and he's a fighter who folds under pressure. He can't stop a takedown, and he can't win when it matters the most. So, which one is it? Is Ciryl Gane underrated, a revolutionary who'll be appreciated years later? Or is he overrated, a product of hype that crumbles when tested by the elite? Today on the MMA Zone, we're breaking down the truth behind Ciryl Gane's career, how he rose, where he fell, and why the answer might be more complicated than anyone wants to admit. The Arrival, a heavyweight who moves like a middleweight. Ciryl Gane didn't walk into the MMA like a typical brawler. Before the UFC, he was a Muay Thai champion in France with a perfect 13-0 record. His style was crisp, it was technical, and it was surgical. There was no haymakers, there was no brawling for the sake of it. There was just this otherworldly rhythm. There was some cool timing and so much precision. When he joined the UFC back in 2019, people didn't know what to expect. But then they saw him move. He didn't look like a 240-pound man. He glided across the octagon. He jabbed, he kicked, he countered, and he evaded so much of the offense with fluidity, the kind that you only usually see in lightweight divisions.
Look for a head and arm choke of the jiu-jitsu guy.
Oh, there's a tap! Welcome to the UFC, Ciryl Gane!
In his first 7 UFC fights, he went undefeated, picking apart guys like Junior dos Santos, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and Alexander Volkov, without even taking much damage. By 2021, he fought Derrick Lewis for the interim heavyweight belt. Lewis was the knockout king, but Gane made him look slow and one-dimensional, systematically breaking him down until the 3rd round TKO.
Oh, left hand, and that leg is compromised.
He took out the leg and then went for the finish after the leg was taken out.
Oh, big knee from Ciryl Gane.
Oh, he's hurt.
Under a minute to go in the round. Lewis
This looks like it
goes
could be the
down.
end right here.
Total domination on the road tonight.
At that moment, the hype was real. Fans said this guy is the future of the heavyweight division. Even Dana White admitted, you don't see heavyweights like this. He is something special. And it's true, Gane wasn't just winning, he was changing what we thought heavyweights could be. But as we learned in MMA, hype always comes with a price. The championship test, when the genius met the monster. Then came Francis Ngannou, former teammate, a knockout artist like no other, and the scariest man on the planet. The storyline was perfect, the student of technique versus the master of just pure destruction. At UFC 270, they fought for the undisputed heavyweight title. Everyone expected a striking clinic from Gane and possibly a finish, but what happened shocked the entire MMA world. Ngannou, known for his power, not his wrestling, suddenly started grappling. By rounds 3, 4, and 5, Francis was taking Gane down at will. He didn't outstrike him, he outgame planned him. Gane looked lost on the ground. He wasn't bad, he just wasn't prepared for that version of Ngannou. He still made it to a close decision, but it exposed a hole in his game that critics just wouldn't forget. That loss planted the first seed of doubt. He's good, but he can't wrestle.
I'm a little bit disappointed that I must do more, so I didn't did. So unfortunately, I'm a little bit disappointed.
And in MMA, once you get labeled like that, it kind of finds a way of just sticking to you. But here's the thing, that fight didn't show that Gane was overrated, it showed that he was unfinished. He had the skills to beat everyone on the feet, but lacked the defensive grappling to stay standing against a monster like Ngannou. He wasn't exposed, he was educated. And as we'd soon see, he'd have to take that lesson into an even bigger test. The Jon Jones disaster, when the hype collided with history. Now let's be real, nobody predicted what happened at UFC 285. Jon Jones returned after 3 years off, heavier than ever, to fight Gane for the vacant heavyweight title. Fans were split. Some said Jones would struggle with the new weight. Others believed Gane's movement and striking would be too much for the former light heavyweight king. But when the cage door shut, it was over before it even began. Jones walked down Gane, he clinched him, he tripped him, and submitted him in just over 2 minutes with a guillotine choke. 2 minutes, that's all it took for Jon Jones to prove that the grappling hole was still there, and bigger than ever. It wasn't just a loss, it was actually pretty humiliating. Critics jumped on it immediately. They stated that Gane was a fraud. He's just a kickboxer. He folds under pressure.
Talk to me about what is going through your mind at the moment.
Disappointed, of course, but the biggest feeling is really angry about myself. I'm really angry about myself because I spend a lot of time with my partner, my coaches, my family, and I don't have a good reflex during the fight. You see, and so I'm really angry.
He can't handle the pressure of being the top guy in the heavyweight division. And the truth, that night, yeah, he kind of did fold. But we need to look deeper. Gane wasn't out of his depth technically. He was caught cold strategically. He expected a striking match. He didn't expect Jones to immediately shoot for the takedown. It was a tactical ambush. And Jones is arguably the most intelligent fighter to ever compete. Arguably to many, he is the greatest of all time. So is that proof that Gane is overrated, or just evidence that he ran into the worst possible matchup at the worst possible time? The comeback, redemption in Paris. Now here's where things get pretty interesting. Because after that disaster, most fighters would have vanished for a year. But Gane, well, he didn't. He came home to Paris to remind people why he's still an elite fighter. At UFC Paris, he faced Sergey Spivak, a dangerous wrestler who many believed would steamroll him on the ground. It was the perfect setup for another downfall, but this time, Gane came prepared. He stuffed takedowns, he used footwork to keep the fight at range, he picked Spivak apart. Body jabs, front kicks, angles, it was textbook Gane. And by round 2, Spivak was exhausted. Gane smelled the blood and he finished him with a barrage of strikes.
He's got to get a hold. Oh my goodness.
Second now. Big shots by Ciryl Gane. Warnings from the referee.
Goddard is all over this.
By Gane. He punches into the counters. It is a masterpiece by Ciryl Gane.
The crowd went insane and suddenly everyone remembered. This man is still one of the most gifted strikers to ever fight at heavyweight.
Yes, I'm really happy about that. It was my mission. Because you know already my last fight was my man. So today it was my mission to prove I'm still here. So today I respect my game plan and you see the results.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, France's own Ciryl Gane.
The post-fight interviews were telling. Gane admitted that he had gaps to fix. He didn't make any excuses. He said, "I'm not perfect, I learn from every fight." And that statement right there might be why he's still in the mix. Because even after public humiliation, he didn't crumble. He actually took what happened to him and he evolved. And since then, he's remained in the top 3 of the heavyweight rankings, training, improving, and waiting for another title shot. and this time he's coming into every fight with a wrestling-ready mindset. The title opportunity that just slipped away. At UFC 321, Tom Aspinall came up against Ciryl Gane. Now this was Gane's opportunity to get the title back, to have it back around his arms. And he knew that he would be facing one of the most dangerous fighters in the world currently, Tom Aspinall, a man with knockout power that we haven't seen since Francis Ngannou. Was this going to take it just a little too far for Ciryl Gane? Was this going to expose all of his weaknesses, or would he actually show up? Now, not many people actually thought that Ciryl Gane would get the better of Tom Aspinall, but things changed pretty quickly. From the first bell, this man looked like he was possessed. He came in and he was calculated. He was ready. And for a moment, it actually looked like Ciryl Gane was going to overcome Tom Aspinall and win the title. But fortunately, due to an eye poke, the fight ended in a no contest. That was the opportunity that Gane had been waiting for, and you could see it on his face when he was crying in the middle of the octagon.
I know it was unintentional. You were very emotional. What are you feeling right now?
For everybody, I'm sorry for Thomas Penal. I'm sorry for myself. We put a lot of energy in this fight, so I'm a little bit disappointed. But this is the sport, this life.
He knew that this was an opportunity that went away. He had the champion bloodied up. He had the champion scrambling for answers. And we can only imagine what would have happened later on in the round. What would have happened later on in the fight. But now, because of an eye poke, we will never get to know. Now, when we take a look at all the things that has happened, is Ciryl Gane overrated? Like the kind that many fans actually claim that he is? Or is he underrated, as his loyal supporters always argue? Well guys, here's my take, and it might surprise you. I think Ciryl Gane is neither. He's just misunderstood, because he represents something that MMA fans aren't used to. A heavyweight fighter whose talent and style, that's kind of built for a new era of heavyweight fighters, not necessarily for this one. So let me explain. Most heavyweights today rely on their size, their power, and their brawling instincts. They're not designed for movement, rhythm, and multi-layered striking. Now Gane, on the other hand, he is. He fights like a modern mixed martial artist who's only missing one key element, and that is elite wrestling defense. Now, when that's fixed, he's almost unbeatable. He becomes the perfect fighter in the octagon. So, the issue is kind of timing. He rose during an era in a division where they were stacked with grapplers, and veterans like Ngannou, Blades, Jones, all of them, these were guys who could exploit that exact weakness. They knew how to overcome the one thing that Ciryl Gane struggled with. They could take him to the ground. And when he came up against pure strikers, then Gane was pretty much untouchable. His striking IQ is world class, his composure under fire is elite, and he's like a surgeon when it comes to picking out shots for his opponents. And we kind of saw that against Tom Aspinall, where if the round might have gone longer, we might have seen Tom Aspinall knocked out, and Gane would have been the new heavyweight champion. So calling him overrated ignores the evolution that he represents, and calling him underrated underestimates his current flaws. So the real label, I would go with kind of ahead of his time. Because one day when heavyweights move and strike like Gane, people will look back and say, wow, that guy was the prototype. He was the first of the new breed. So Ciryl Gane may not have the belt right now, he may never be the greatest heavyweight ever, but he is definitely the blueprint for what the next great heavyweight will look like. He's technical, he's fast, he's intelligent, and he's patient. And most importantly, he's still learning even though he's this far into his career. So, to answer the question, he is not overrated, he is not underrated, he's just unfinished. And that's kind of the scary part, because once he completes the final piece of his puzzle, once he truly finds a way to blend his striking genius with some great grappling, then I pretty much think that there isn't a single guy in the heavyweight division who can actually stand up against him. He becomes the best in the division immediately. So guys, I need to ask the question, what do you think? Is Ciryl Gane overrated or is he underrated? Is he maybe even overprotected? Is he just that one fighter that they know they can put out there because he'll put on a show? Let me know down in the comments below, guys. I need to know. And also, while you're down there, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications. And guys, I'm Ty, and I will catch you on the next one.